I mean, I still feel like that's too much attachment. If you're giving somebody that kind of power over you emotionally, like that's too much. Like I'm working myself to a point where I may not cry when my mom dies. You know what I'm saying? Or when my dad dies. I'm trying to work myself up to that because it's I just don't. I don't think that they want me to cry.
Oh my goodness.
You know what
Okay,
I'm saying?
this
But
is.
I'm making a point though. Like it's
I understand the preparation of you. If you don't plan to succeed, you plan to fail. I think that's how it goes. Something like that. That's said all the time. So he's always
you
trying to
prepare
be
for the worst
he's
and hope for the
preparing
best.
he's preparing himself for things to come that he knows that may hurt him. So basically, it's like if you are if there's no way you can prepare for your parents dying. Just I've lost a parent. There is no preparation for the feelings that you're going to feel or what it's going to bring up. What it's going to bring out of you.
I'm just not one to cry. That's all I'm saying. Like I'm definitely not gonna cry. And I mean, like I say, I'm preparing for my folks to pass or whatever. And you know that's gonna happen. Death is inevitable. You know what I'm saying? Occurrence in life. But and if I cry, I cry. You know what I'm saying? If I'm broken up, I'm broken up. But the people outside of family, like I just feel like there's no reason to like put that much into like a 2-year relationship. Like unless we're married, unless we create a family of our own, like we haven't really given up anything of each other. You know what I'm saying? So like, what's the point in crying because they gone? Like it is what it is. Like
Well, that's the point.
Life got to keep going.
That's the point. I feel like you can't make the meaningful relationship with somebody until you go through things with them, until you've been in the trenches with them of life, and you've helped them and you've supported them and come through things. Now, if people invest all their love and energy into their family, they're passing back love. Mm-hmm. They're not passing a future love. So when you get a wife and you have children, that is the where the energy goes into. The energy from your past pushes you into your future. So you no longer, you can step back and help your parents as they transition from, retirement or whatever, but you're supposed to put all of your energy into your future so that your children will pull back for you. But if you keep constantly, like, I see that a lot in minority families. I see it's different in different cultures, but some other cultures have it. They invest only in their future so that so that they can keep building a life. But I noticed a lot of, like, in my family, it's like, you got to do this for your parents. Everything's for your parents. Sometimes parents even kill and ruin people's relationships and marriage.
I'm not necessarily saying do things for my parents. That's not what I mean. I just mean that. No,
the love that you say. You say if they're not your family, well, if you get a wife, she is your family.
That's what I said that though. I said unless we're married and we have kids. I said that. But a 2-year, like a relationship, like where we just, you know what I'm saying?
It doesn't matter the time. It doesn't.
Or, I mean, a 3 or a 1-year relationship. I just don't agree with investing that much of myself emotionally.
So when are you going to invest?
When we get married, when we get engaged to be married, like then then that's something that I might shed a tear over. But like, there's a point in which like
I'm scared of men who don't cry. I feel like they have all this bottled up anger and they'll one day punch you.
I don't have any bottled up anger.
But I
get angry.
I'm
like,
scared
it is what it is.
of men who don't cry. That's all I can say.
Is.
And I think I feel like there's emotions in life. I guess what Mike is saying is he's never been in a situation where he felt so overwhelmed that he could not control his emotions. Is that what you're saying?
No. Emotions are to be controlled.
So what emotion usually comes out when you feel like you're out of control?
I never feel out of control. Like I don't ever feel out of control. That's
okay. So we're talking almost to an inhumane person.
And no. Like no, that's absolutely not inhumane to not feel out of control. Like that's the epitome of fucking faking. If you ever in a situation where you feel like you out of control and the people around you feel like you out of control and like they can't do nothing to stop you, that shit pisses me off. That makes me mad and that makes me feel like they faking. They faking
So
their
you've
emotions
never
right
been
now.
so mad that nobody could calm you down?
No, absolutely not. And
Well,
people that are that mad are searching for attention.
okay,
There's always
that is
something you can always calm down.
that's an interesting perspective. But I would say that our viewers or the people that are listening, probably 98% of them will
Somebody's
say,
going to disagree. That's cool.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah, that there are going to be people that disagree. So I feel like you're
Sure.
offering a pretty different perspective to this.
I mean, I look at it like
Because
this. Like, so check it out. Just an example of controlling your anger. Kids are killed on a daily. Would you agree with that?
yes.
Kids die on a daily. Kids are killed. How much of the justice that those murderers in those situations see, how much of that is actual retribution from the parents?
I'm not
A
sure.
very minuscule amount. Probably less than minuscule, if that could be an amount. Those parents who have to put their children in the dirt, you know what I'm saying? They were angry at some point, and maybe even emotionally uncontrollable. But the anger, they weren't like unstable to the point where they just killed everybody.
But there are instances where people have done that or tried to, attempted to. There are instances where you don't never watch.
There's very specific instances, right?
No, you never watch. They have a whole TV show.
No. I'm not saying that. There is a whole TV show about what you're talking about. I hear you.
About people acting out in court.
Definitely. What I'm saying is, more often than not, they sit on their hands and they let the justice system run its course.
No.
If a parent can do that for a child, I certainly can do that about a woman leaving or about me leaving.
No, it's not that you certainly can't do that. What happens is, because we have to state facts. What happens is people put their energy. We have to state facts because this is like you're feeling. What I'm saying is, what they do is they put their emotions and feelings into other things. People start drinking. They start becoming a workaholic. They do something to hide that pain emotionally if they don't get it out. Because it is, like I said, I lost my father unexpectedly. It is an emotion that you cannot control. It is a feeling.
Do you drink?
A little bit. Not uncontrollably.
Okay.
But I do eat Heath bars uncontrollably.
I think the Heath bars ain't got shit to do with Pop's passing, though.
No, it's not that. It's very hard to explain to someone. I always say this, like, I feel like people who have lost a parent or lost a child, we're in like a cult of people that nobody else understands until it happens. Because I was also on the outside looking in. I had an uncle die who I was very close to. And I thought that was the worst. But when I lost my parent, it was a completely different ballgame. My mind completely changed. I was not suicidal, but I didn't care if I lived. I felt like my life was over. Like, that was it. I did not want to get married. I did not want to have children. I didn't want to do anything that my father could not be there to see. Because I felt like he put his whole life into me so that he could see me do better. And when he died, I felt like, what was the point? Because he doesn't get to see this.
Right on.
So those were emotions that I could not control or feel. Like,
and no disrespect. You couldn't control those, but have you controlled them now?
I had to learn. I had to get help. Somebody had to teach me how to. I talked to counselors. I read books. I had to get some type of help. Otherwise, I would have drank, smoked. I would have lived very frivolously. I wouldn't have cared about my life.
Word.
And sometimes in relationships, losing a relationship is like grieving. Because you're close to a person. You see a person every single day. You talk to a person every single day. You've been through things with that person. You are tied to them emotionally, sexually, physically. And it's a lot. So when you lose them, you do feel like it's a grieving process. You have lost something that you thought was forever.
Maybe, like, so part of it, for me at least, part of it for me is the fact that, like, a lot of times when I'm not with somebody anymore or when we split up or whatever, I don't ever feel like, you know what I'm saying, this is going to sound real shitty, but it is what it is. I don't ever feel like that's the best I can do. Like I'm not like, oh my God, like I just lost my everything. Like, cause I mean, I can still be out here and I can still do fine for myself. So I always feel like that. And like a lot of times that's always at the back of my head. Probably shouldn't be, but it is. And that's just the truth of the matter. Like it's a lot of fish in the sea. Like, and as far as the relationship side of it, like I can't speak on Nat Cat's grief. Like I can't speak on that. So let me back out of that conversation right now. But like as far as like the relationship side of it, obviously on the last episode we talked about my 8 past girlfriends. I get over them very easily. And
But he also,
I mean, you just got to keep going.
He
like
he also heads in there very fast too. So he is not invested. He's not really sacrificed.
That's not true.
Not really.
That's not true at all.
If you jump in fast, you have not even.
Okay. So I jumped in fast. So we haven't thoroughly discussed these 8 relationships that I'm talking about. So I want everybody to calm down. First of all, I want you to calm down too. Second of all, I jumped in fast. I jumped in fast on 2 of the recent ones.
So calm.
Great. I'm glad. I jumped in fast on 2 of the recent ones. Just because I jumped in fast on those 2 doesn't necessarily mean that
you
all
did
of
that
them
with
I
the
jumped
6.
In. Right.
Okay.
So
the 6 he put a lot of time into, and
you trying to be funny right now? It's not working at all.
No, he
it's not funny, guys. It's not. So stop.
He cut me off from the funny. Like I just don't. I cannot see a person really looking and really evaluating, this person is for me. I want to be in a relationship with this person. With 8 relationships, and then saying I felt like in the beginning before he got with them, he felt like he could do better.
I'm 34 years old. I'm a man. I've had 8 relationships. No big deal. It is what it is.
No, but we have to explain this because it's not just 8. He's had 8 relationships. That means you thought I was your boyfriend and I thought I was your girlfriend. Not situationships, not bullshit.
8 times that happened.
He was in a relationship 8 times.
8 times that happened, yes.
But it seems as though all 8 women...
How many have you had?
3.
All right. You've had 3. She's 32, I'm 34. Who got better luck? Because ain't neither one of us got nobody right now. No. So it is what it is.
No, we're talking about investing. That's completely different.
But you ain't with the 3 that you had, and I'm not with the 8 that I had. What makes your investment more than mine?
Because I invested a longer time. I invested a lot of things.
You ain't got neither one of them. So the investment that you put in didn't work just like mine didn't.
No.
So it doesn't really make a difference.
No. It makes a big difference because even now to this day, I still talk to most of their families. They still call me because we invested time and energy.
How do you know I don't talk to some of their families?
I'm not saying that you don't. I'm only sharing my experience.
I'm just saying, like, that just because it was 3 and it was a slower process than myself doesn't mean I didn't invest anything. Like, I didn't invest myself. I just didn't invest tears into it. Is basically what I'm saying.
No, not
heartache
not
and tears. Like, I don't like the feeling of that.
No, what I'm saying is, okay, so this is my second battle with cancer.
Let me say this real quick. I've cried before. I've cried. Plenty of times in my life I've cried. It's not a good feeling. You get a fucking headache, snot running down your nose, tears on your face, it's salty. It's nasty and it hurts. I don't like to cry. I don't like to be emotionally caught up in something.
Nobody likes to cry.
Well then. So I keep myself from doing so.
I understand that.
Now she was about to talk about this is her second battle with cancer. I don't want to interrupt that. I apologize. Go ahead.
Okay, well, this is my second battle with cancer. And the first battle was extremely difficult because I had a very emergency situation and it took a lot of love and support for me to get through that. I had to do chemo for 6 months. I was in a very serious relationship. I was engaged. That person was there for me at every stop way in which he needed to be there. I could ask him to do whatever he could do in his capacity and he would do it. So therefore, I always have some type of love and respect for him because he was there for me in a time when I was fighting for my life. So that is something where we were really invested. So if something were to happen to him, or if he felt like he may have need me at some point, I feel like I owe it to him to be there for him because the way that he invested in me in my time of near death, I feel like I owe him something.
So listen, I'm going to tell you a story. Like, so my mom, helped me with this. That's really probably, you know what I'm saying, how I got this way. Like when I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps,